$11 a week, a story of dignity denied, a story that echoes the silent struggles of many. This is Temtope Owosola's story, a story that needs to be heard, understood, and acted upon. It's a story that needs to be told not just for Temtope, but for everyone in similar situations. Temtope is a fighter, a survivor. He embodies resilience and determination. He lives with autism, a challenge he faces head-on every single day. His spirit is unbreakable. But there's another challenge Temtope shouldn't have to face. The harsh reality of living on a paltry $11 a week. Living on a paltry $11 a week. Imagine trying to stretch that amount to cover all your needs. You heard me right, $11. It's a sum that barely scratches the surface of what is needed. That's what our system thinks is enough for a human being to live with dignity. It's a stark and painful reality. It's a disgrace and it has to change. We must raise our voices and demand better. We're not talking about extras here, folks. We're talking about the bare minimum. This isn't about fancy coffee or movie tickets, it's about survival. This is about the basic necessities of life. Soap, shampoo, toothpaste, maybe a phone call to a loved one. Soap, shampoo, toothpaste, maybe a phone call to a loved one. These are not luxuries, they are essentials. These are things most of us take for granted, but for Temtope and countless others like him, these basic necessities are luxuries they can barely afford. But for Temtope and countless others like him, these basic necessities are luxuries they can barely afford. It's a daily struggle. This isn't just about money, it's about dignity. It's about recognizing the inherent worth of every individual. Everyone, regardless of their abilities or disabilities, deserves to live with dignity. They deserve to feel valued, respected and cared for. They deserve to feel valued, respected and cared for. It's a fundamental human right. $11 a week sends a very different message. It says, you're not worth more than this, you're forgotten. It says, you're not worth more than this, you're forgotten. It's a message of neglect and indifference. We cannot stand by and let this injustice continue. We must act, we must demand change, and we must restore dignity to those who have been denied it. The essence of dignity beyond shelter and medication. We applaud the efforts to provide housing and medication for those in need. These initiatives are vital and form the foundation of support for many. These are crucial steps in the right direction, ensuring that the basic needs of individuals are met. But true care goes beyond the bare minimum. It involves a deeper understanding and a more comprehensive approach. It's about recognizing the whole person, their needs, their aspirations, their desire to live a fulfilling life. Dignity isn't a luxury, it's a fundamental aspect of human existence. It's not something we earn or deserve based on our abilities. It's an inherent part of being human. It's an inherent human right that should be respected and upheld for everyone. When we deny someone the means to live with dignity, we deny their humanity. We strip away their sense of self-worth and belonging. We strip them of their agency, their voice, their ability to participate fully in society. This exclusion is a profound injustice. Imagine for a moment that you have only $11 to last you an entire week. The choices you would face would be daunting. Think about the choices you would have to make, the sacrifices you would be forced to endure. Every decision would carry significant weight. Would you be able to afford basic toiletries? Even the simplest necessities would become luxuries. Could you call a friend or family member? Staying connected would be a challenge. Would you feel a sense of agency, of control over your own life? The feeling of helplessness would be overwhelming. The answer, for most of us, is a resounding no. This stark reality is a daily struggle for many, and yet this is the harsh reality for countless individuals like Temtope, who are forced to navigate life on the margins of society, their needs ignored, their voices silenced. We must strive to do better, to ensure that dignity is not just a word, but a lived experience for all. Isolation in a crowd. The reality of living on $11 a week. It's a harsh and often invisible struggle that many face daily. Temtope isn't asking for much. He remains hopeful and tries to find joy in the little things. He's grateful for the roof over his head and the medication that helps him manage his condition. These are his lifelines, the essentials that keep him going, but he's also acutely aware of what he's missing, the simple joys of life that most of us take for granted, the ability to enjoy a meal out, to buy a small gift for a loved one, or to simply treat oneself. He can't afford a cup of coffee with a friend, a small but significant social interaction that many of us overlook, a new book to read, or even a haircut. These are not luxuries, but basic aspects of self-care and personal growth. This lack of resources leads to a profound sense of isolation. It's not just about the money, it's about the opportunities and connections that money can facilitate. Imagine being surrounded by people, yet feeling completely alone. The bustling world moves on, but for those like Temtope, it feels like they're stuck in place. That's the reality for many living on such a meager allowance. They watch life happening around them, but they can't fully participate. They become invisible. Their voice is lost in the cacophony of a world that seems to have forgotten them. Their struggles are overlooked, their needs unmet. $11 a week is a constant reminder of their marginalized status, a scarlet letter that sets them apart from the rest of society. It's a symbol of the systemic issues that keep them in a cycle of poverty. It's a constant source of stress, anxiety, and despair. The mental toll is immense, affecting their overall well-being. It erodes their sense of self-worth, their belief in their own potential. Over time, this can lead to a deep sense of hopelessness. We have a moral imperative to do better. As a society, we must recognize and address these inequities. We need to create a society where everyone feels valued, respected, and supported, where no one has to live in such dire circumstances. A society where individuals like Temtope are empowered to live full and meaningful lives, where they can pursue their dreams and contribute to the community without the constant burden of financial insecurity. The Little Red Hen and Temtope's struggle, a story of shared responsibility. Remember the story of the Little Red Hen? She worked tirelessly to bake bread, but no one wanted to help. When the bread was finally ready, everyone wanted a piece. We all have a role to play in ensuring the well-being of our most vulnerable citizens. This isn't just the responsibility of the government or social service agencies. It's a collective responsibility that falls on each and every one of us. We can't just sit back and expect others to solve this problem. We need to be the change we want to see in the world. We need to demand better for our fellow human beings, just like in the story of the Little Red Hen. We can choose to be part of the solution or part of the problem. We can choose to ignore the needs of those struggling on the margins of society, or we can choose to step up and make a difference. The choice is ours. Let's choose compassion. Let's choose justice. Let's choose dignity for all.